light from there. Okay, that's fine. Close my email. Go ahead and play. Boom.
Okay. You starting?
It's live already. Yep. It's like somebody's in. Somebody is in already. Let me see. Yeah, that looks good. You can see the video back there. Hello, hello. It's like somebody's in here already. Welcome to our weekly live update here for Vegas. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. Wait a few more minutes. A couple minutes for folks to get in. Oh, it's exactly 12 o'clock. Welcome, guys. Thanks for jumping in for this weekly update. Lots to cover. Lots going on this weekend here in Vegas. Like always, right? I feel like there's always a lot going on in town. There's going to be even more as the year goes on. New announcements coming out, NBA stuff, NASCAR stuff, Formula One stuff, concert announcements. I mean, there's so much going on. So we'll get into that in a couple minutes. Hey, Kevin, welcome. I was going to talk about Canada today too, actually. Canada and Vegas. But I'll actually, while we wait for a few more people to come in, I'll share with you. So I was at South Point yesterday for a lunch meeting and met a couple people from Canada. And one of the employees at the restaurant had mentioned or commented that there have been a lot of Canadians in town over the last couple of weeks, which is interesting because a couple of weeks ago, I was at Cosmopolitan and met Woody's Travels from Canada, who happened to be at Cosmopolitan with his wife. Very nice couple. Thank you guys again if you're watching this for saying hello. And I also met Jake from Toronto over at Planet Hollywood that was visiting and said hello. So interesting. And actually, Calgary is in town this weekend playing Vegas over at T-Mobile. So interesting. All right, guys, so let's get into it. This is your weekly Vegas update. Hello from Minnesota. Oh, hi. I actually used to live in Duluth, Minnesota many years ago. And we go back around August, every August, for the nice 2 weeks in August out there. But Hawaiian 5-0, hey, welcome. Houston, Texas. Awesome. Hopefully you got up to the Aloha Festival in Arizona last weekend or this past weekend. Seems like there was like 400,000 people there at the Aloha Festival. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's get into it, guys. So there's a lot to talk about this weekend. And like always, we will start with the weather. So weather here in Vegas, we had some 70s last week, which was really nice. And now we're in high 60s, and that's because there's been some rain in Southern California. So as I've mentioned before, when Southern California gets weather, and that comes from the Pacific, actually comes from Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands, and it smashes into Southern California and spills over into Vegas. So we get that weather. We did get some rain yesterday, which is nice because we're in the desert, right? And you guys all know the ongoing issues with the Lake Mead water levels. So it's always nice and welcome to get that rain here in Vegas, the ninth island in the middle of the desert. A mall in Duluth. Yep, Duluth Mall. Yep. I saw it. Did see that. The Duluth Mall. Yeah, that happened. Well, not a few, but years ago, happened down there in the cities, at the football stadium. I believe it was still Target Field at that time. I believe that's what it was. So if you're going to be in Vegas this weekend, it's going to be perfect to be outdoors. You're going to have high 60s. You are going to have partly cloudy skies, so you're not going to have that sun beating down on you. You are going to have some sun, really comfortable t-shirt and shorts to be outside. Carry a light jacket as always, because as soon as the sun goes down, the temperature drops. But you're going to see overnight in the evenings and overnight, you're still going to be in the low 60s. So definitely very comfortable to be outdoors. Yep. Um, so yeah, so expect it to be very comfortable, which is great because this weekend there's a lot of outdoor stuff happening here in Vegas. So let's get started with that. So first, there's been two large showgirls that have been installed down um, in the Arts District in downtown Las Vegas, or Arts District. Different people consider downtown, um, different areas of downtown Las Vegas. Some think it's just Fremont Street Experience or East Fremont or the Arts District, and really it's all the downtown area. So I'll refer to as downtown. So the Arts District is really the tip of the downtown area, because as you go south towards Fremont Street, it's all downtown, and it's all up and coming. So there's two large showgirls out there, and if you head down by the Stratosphere, down by the Strat, they've installed a platform right across the street where it says "Welcome to Downtown Las Vegas." There's a couple of showgirls, and there was a big arch there, so they put a platform where they're giant, they're massive, Kevin, installation, but really cool. And it's all really part of that revitalization downtown. I was just driving down there last week. I drove from East Fremont, or Charleston, chose from Charleston down there on Las Vegas Boulevard, towards the Stratosphere. In that gap between there, there's tons of construction down there. There's road construction, there's buildings being renovated. The wedding chapels are still there, so you can still have that last minute wedding here in Vegas if that's what you're looking for. But there's a lot going on down there, and I always recommend. I don't work for the city. I have nothing to gain financially or personally by this, but it's definitely it's so worth checking out. You still have a lot of the old Vegas buildings down there that are being restored with new businesses going in, which is really cool because that's part of the history here in Vegas. And it's a great walkable part of town. Before you guys beat me up on this, yes, there are still homeless down there, and that's an issue in any major city. And there are folks being displaced as these renovations happen and the city comes in. But one thing that I can say, living here, there are tons of outreach programs for homeless and houseless folks and folks with mental illness. There are tons of organizations that are out there every single day interacting with these folks to try to help them and get them off the streets. So that is out there. So better to stay in Fremont or outside the Strip? So I'm going to answer this question fast and then get right into the update. Really, when you're staying here in Vegas, there's the Strip, there's off Strip, there's downtown, and then there's outside of it, right? Like your Hiltons, there's your timeshare places, Airbnbs. It really depends on the type of experience that you're looking to have. Fremont Street, if you're staying down there, I mean, you literally step out of the casino and you're in the Fremont Street experience, right? In the madness, but it is louder in the evenings because there's music on the 3rd Street stage and on the Fremont Street stage over by the plaza. There's live music all the time. There's the overhead music from the Fremont Street experience. The Viva Vision light show that goes on. There's tons of people out there. If that's what you're looking for, then perfect. But there's just as many people that don't want that madness. So you have like the Downtown Grand, which is one block over since the 60s. Wow. The Downtown Grand, which is a block over from Fremont, and you kind of arm's distance to the madness. It's a very nice property. I've stayed there several times. Really nice property. And then there's, of course, the Strip. And if you've been coming here since the 60s, they're insanely average. What the Strip is like now versus what it was back then. So it really depends. Price wise, I've been seeing that, on busy weekends like this weekend, I was looking at Excalibur and rooms are $350 this weekend. but that's because there's so much going on. 350 for a room at Excalibur. That's kind of a little bit nuts, right? But yeah, so it really depends on your experience. So let's get back to the update. So that's going on down there. If you've seen the movie It, which was crazy popular, that the new movie It, there's a brand new escape room that opened up in Vegas in the downtown area, and it's an It experience. Escape It is what it's called. And I was watching some of the video, and it's really scary. I mean, if you're not a clown person, do not go. If you want to be scared out of your wits, then absolutely book it. And that's going to be at escapeit.com, where you can book tickets online, reserve your space before you come down here to Vegas. So there's been a recent announcement. This is more a little bit of a news piece. The mobile billboards, which I'm sure you guys have all seen if you've been to Vegas, they ride up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, slower than traffic. There's noise, there's things moving, there's video, there's all kinds of stuff happening with these mobile billboards. Well, there's a bill that's been presented to either ban the mobile billboards altogether because they cause such a distraction, and they cause traffic because they generally drive about 10 miles under the speed limit, which clogs up traffic there on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is already busy. So just curious to hear what you guys think about that with the mobile billboards. They have like Cirque show tickets, advertisements on there, girls straight to your room, dispensaries, all kinds of advertisements there. On those billboards, and they may be going away. You never know. As Vegas continues to grow, that might be something of the past. Here's another big announcement. If you guys follow sports, you probably saw this. Jimmy Garoppolo is officially coming over to the Raiders, which is interesting. Yeah, so just curious to see how that turns out, but. He's already been referred to as Jimmy G is what he's being referred to, and some of the newscasters have said the G stands for gorgeous. I don't know if they're looking at that to promote ticket sales, but it's an interesting development there with the Raiders and Jimmy Garoppolo coming to Vegas. Gloves, hoodies. Yep. I'm familiar with that person, Kevin. And isn't she from Canada? I believe she's from Canada, and she comes down and does that. I've actually seen her down on the Strip before. Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on with outreach. But you can't take people off the street against their will and put them somewhere, right? So Jimmy G coming to Raiders. Here's an interesting announcement. If you guys are Drake or 21 Savage fans, they announced that Vegas is going to be a tour stop. They're going to be over at T-Mobile Arena on September 1st. And I didn't realize this because I'm not a big Drake person, but Drake hasn't toured officially since 2018. So that's going to be the first time touring this tour and then adding Vegas as a stop. And that's going to be September 1st. The reason I bring it up now, because it's not until September 1st, but tickets actually go on sale at noon on March 17th. So March 17th at noon, you can get your Drake Vegas concert tickets for September 1st over at T-Mobile Arena. And I've said this before, T-Mobile is a great venue for concerts, in my opinion, much better than Allegiant Stadium because it's not as big. So really, you can get away with a good seat for a lower price than Allegiant Stadium. So let's see, David Blaine. I don't know if you guys saw this on your local news, wherever you are, but he was performing a trick and actually fell from like the rafters into a pile of boxes in front of the stage, like just dropped. I guess a cord that was supposed to be holding him broke, and he just dropped straight like a sack of potatoes from the rafters there into some rocks and dislocated his shoulder. And he's come out and said how lucky he is that his injury wasn't worse. But watching it live, it was actually really, really scary. So that just happened a couple days ago here in Vegas. So let's talk about this weekend. What's going on this weekend? I mentioned earlier there, Kevin, Calgary is going to be in town playing the Vegas Golden Knights That's going to be at 7 p.m. tomorrow at T-Mobile Arena. And then on Sunday, you've got the Blue Jackets coming in from Columbus, Ohio. That's going to be 1 p.m. on Sunday at T-Mobile Arena. Now, even if you're not here for hockey, if you can make it over there about an hour and a half before puck drop, it's really a great experience. They do an entire procession coming through New York, and through the park. You've got all of the hockey cheerleaders coming through. You've got the drums coming through. It's a really, really cool procession heading into T-Mobile in the park area. And like I mentioned earlier, with the weather, it's going to be really nice to just be down there in the park area. So it'd be cool to be down there just enjoying the nice weather and watch the procession coming through the park area there between Park MGM, New York, heading to T-Mobile Arena. Really cool experience if you haven't done it before. Doesn't cost anything. You're outside. You're in Vegas. It's a party environment. Really cool to see down there. You've also got on the 17th at T-Mobile Arena, you've got the Calabash concert. That's a big reggae concert that's going to be here in Vegas. Really cool. And again, T-Mobile is a great venue for music. Great venue. You've got Stevie Nicks is going to be there the very next day on the 18th. She's going to be over at T-Mobile Arena. You've got Bonnie Raitt that's going to be at the Venetian on the 18th as well. So two big concerts. Excuse me, two big concerts on the same day. Actually, several big concerts on the same day. So it's going to be very busy here in Vegas this weekend. A lot of different things. If you're a muscle car or NASCAR or a car enthusiast, whatever it is, this weekend you've got Muscle Cars. Now, the name is a little misleading because it's called Muscle Cars on the Strip, but it's actually going to be over at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and that's going to be 3 days, the 17th through the 19th. Muscle Cars on the Strip over at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which actually isn't really far from the Strip. It's pretty much a straight shot on the highway to the Speedway there, if you guys are interested in checking that out. So big thing going on this weekend, St. Paddy's Day. I don't know if you guys have ever been here for St. Patrick's Day. I've been here many times for St. Patrick's Day, especially now that I live here. It's huge, right? It's huge here in Vegas. So on Friday, starting at 8 a.m. in the Link Promenade, O'Shea's is having their annual St. Patrick's Day block party in the Link Promenade. That's hosted by O'Shea's, and that's always a huge and very, very fun event. And like I mentioned, with the weather being as nice as it's going to be, high 60s, partly cloudy, partly sunny or partly cloudy, however you want to frame it. It's going to be really nice to be outside there in the Link Promenade all day Friday. And then there's going to be other things happening over the weekend here in Vegas related to St. Patrick's Day. But the big thing is going to be the Fremont Street Experience. They do a 3-day St. Patrick's Day party. Live music, green beer everywhere, discounts, great food, great people watching, as I'm sure you guys are familiar. It's going to be just a huge party for 3 days down in the Fremont Street Experience. And if you're heading down there for that, I would encourage you to take a walk across Las Vegas Boulevard and check out East Fremont Street District. There's great food, there's great bars, live music. There's just a lot of fun stuff happening on the east side there. I remember the days when you didn't cross Las Vegas Boulevard on Fremont Street. They would actually have security that would discourage you, like you really don't want to go over there. That has changed. There's so much going on down there. Great food, music, drinks. It's a really cool part of town, and you can head on over to the Container Park where, again, there's more food, there's more bars, they have live music. Lots of things going on that side. And you can take a break from the massive crowd that you're going to find in the Fremont Street Experience over the next 3 days. So that's going to be big down there. Park, also the park area over by New York, they're going to be having St. Patrick's Day celebrations on Friday all day long. Also, you're going to have music, green beers, all that fun stuff. So a really fun weekend here in Vegas. And a couple of other things you can check out. The conservatory over at Bellagio has changed over to the spring theme. So that's up and running. And you guys know, if you've ever been there, they do an amazing job. It smells amazing in there. The fresh flowers. It's just beautiful. They put a lot of effort into that. Obviously, they want you to spend money in Bellagio, which is why they do it, right? But it's one of those fun or great free things that you can do here in Vegas, to just get you out of the casino, take a walk, and do something different. So um, the spring conservatory is open. Cheaper eats on Fremont too. Absolutely, definitely going to have um, great food for a lower price than you're going to find on the strip down in the Fremont Street area and East Fremont Street area. So check that out. Steve Aoki. So you still got your DJs, right? If you guys are coming here for day parties, night parties, pool parties, because pools are open. Every pool in Vegas, they're all open right now. So pool parties are happening. Um, and we were just down at Flamingo for one night this past weekend because we had a friend in town. And you see the people, tank tops and board shorts walking through the casino, bikinis, walking through the casinos there, heading to the pool, which for me, it's still not quite warm enough to hit the pool because a lot of the pools are ice cold. So not warm enough for me, but you guys, depending on where you're coming from, pool season is here. So you still have your big pool parties, right? So you have Steve Aoki performing. You've got Diplo. You've got Tiesto, Marshmello, DJ Pauly D over at the Cosmopolitan tomorrow. No, Saturday, the 18th. He's going to be over there at Cosmopolitan at Marquee Nightclub. So there's a lot. You still have all of that stuff happening this weekend. Of course, some of the big names that are in town this weekend. You've got Adele over at Caesar's Palace. You've got Keith Urban. You've got Usher in town. Keith Urban is going to be at Zappos at Planet Hollywood. That's the theater there in the Miracle Mile shops. You can see an update. They've renovated the inside of the Miracle Mile shops. Looks pretty cool. Zappos Theater, I've been there many times. I've seen Pitbull. I've seen Gwen Stefani. It's a great venue for music. It's a little bit smaller, but there's really not a bad seat in the Zappos Theater if you're going there for a concert. So don't worry about spending, a lot to be in the front row. Sit back, spend less, sit back. You're still going to have a great view of the stage. It's a great venue for concerts there. If you want to head up to Craig Ranch, that's in North Las Vegas, they are having the Water Lantern Festival. I'm curious to see how they're going to do that because Water Lantern Festival, the only ones that I've ever attended has been in Honolulu, Hawaii when we lived there in town. And, you release the lanterns out into the ocean there. So I wonder how they're going to do the Water Lantern Festival at Craig Ranch. But that's happening this weekend if you want to check it out. So yeah, that's a lot. Let me just recap so you guys can see how much of what's happening here in Vegas. You've got hockey here this weekend at T-Mobile Arena. You've got the Calabash concert at T-Mobile. You've got Stevie Nicks in town this weekend. You've got Bonnie Raitt. You've got the Muscle Cars happening at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You've got St. Patrick's Day festivities all weekend long, all throughout the Vegas Valley. You've got Steve Aoki, Diplo, Tiesto, Marshmello, Pauly D, Adele at Caesars. You've got Keith Urban. You've got Usher. Just so much going on this weekend here in Vegas. And like I mentioned earlier, the weather is going to be perfect to be out and about. So definitely get outside and take advantage of the beautiful weather here in Vegas while you're in town. And you know what, guys? I think that sums it up. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. Oh, you can see my Primo. If you know, you know. That's my Primo t-shirt. And I've got to give a shout out to Renee over at 9th Avenue Rock House on Wailea Avenue in Kaimuki there, my favorite spot to sing karaoke. She always had ice cold Primo bottles for me there in the refrigerator. Whenever I walked in, she just crack it open and just hand it over to me. So anyway, that's what that is there. So the big thing this weekend, March Madness, right? If you guys have ever been here for March Madness, you know how insane it is. The sports books are going to be full to the brim. So expect to have to make reservations at some of the bigger properties. Like I know Caesar's Palace, you have to make reservations for the good seats. There's not a lot of seats available for you to just walk in, sit down and watch March Madness. It's the same thing with big events, right? So when you get into playoffs, Super Bowl, that time of year, they do the same thing. So it's going to be nuts here for March Madness this weekend also, and it's already kicking off. We're going to a kickoff party today ourselves down on the Strip. Excuse me, for March Madness. So it's going to be busy this weekend, guys. So let us know in the comments. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching so much. We appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting our television show, Ninth Island Connection. We're so grateful and blessed for you guys to help us with our success here on YouTube, as well as the television show. Thank you. So if there's anything that you guys are looking for specifically, hit me up on Instagram, Ninth Island Connection. That's the best way to message. We do get a lot of comments here in YouTube, so sometimes I do miss them because YouTube only shows you a certain amount before it pushes them down. So reach out to me on Instagram if you guys are looking for something specific, and that's Ninth Island Connection. Check out our little baby TikTok that we're starting, which we're having some fun with, and that's Ninth Island Connection as well. And yeah, let us know what you guys want to see. Thank you guys for watching our weekly live, and I'll see you guys next week.